I tell you what, this guy's been on my feet quite a bit, and yeah, the invert circle. This dude, he's got a lot going on here, man. He's getting some good views, and he's talking about how something feels off about everyone and everything, and I could not agree more. So I have already subbed, and you should as well. I'll leave his link down below. But let's get into this.
Lately, something feels off about everybody I meet
I do like his accent, by the way. I really do.
and every place that I go. I just have to say it. I went to the store the other day, and it kind of felt like I was in a dream or maybe a nightmare. It was very, very weird. People are in a daze. And what it feels like to me is it's like they're in mourning, like something has passed away. That's the energy or the vibe that I'm getting. And
I've talked about this, how people seem off, especially like he said in the grocery store. I had a video, which I can link down below if you want to check that one out if you haven't, where just everybody looks pissed off, right? It's just everyone's dressed down in their sweatpants and they look pissed.
humans that I've met, they have lost the spark that they used to have. Something is really wrong with people. And it's almost like seeing zombies.
I've talked about this about people in the airport as well, look like zombies because everyone lives on their phone, and the phone is their primary world, and the real world around them is secondary. They're not paying attention, and they're busy having arguments and fights online with people, and then that carries into their interactions with people in the real world. So they're pissed. So they're pissed because someone like they're in New York and somebody in Florida pissed them off in a comment section. And then they're in a bad mood, and then whatever interaction they have with somebody out in public, like at the grocery store or the clerk or something, they piss them off, and it's this chain reaction of people pissing each other off. But now that's the thing, is you don't have to be near someone to piss them off. You can be all across the world and just say something that they don't like, or just something they disagree with, or they could just not agree with you about something. You leave a comment and they're like, I disagree. And then you're like, what?
That just don't care about anybody. They don't care about anything. And I can feel it. And to me, it's emotionally exhausting to be around people right now. And I'm going to be brutally honest, but people now are...
That's why a lot of people just want to stay home and they want to be on their own. They like their solitude, because dealing with people, forget about it. It's just too much now. It's too much. People have too much baggage, right? Especially since 2020. There's a lot of PTSD going on.
Are less honest now. They are more rude now. And
are they less honest? Are people less honest now? I feel like people have always had the same capability of lying. I don't think people are less honest now. Well, especially if you think about all of the surveillance. I think people are more honest in a lot of ways, right? Because no matter where you are, what you're doing, you're being recorded by somebody, by some ring cam. So it might not be the words you say, but your actions. I know a lot of people probably aren't. A lot of kids probably aren't having the good old time of ding dong ditch, because now that ring cameras ruined that, didn't they? Yeah, they did.
Disrespectful and ignorance.
Maybe people are more dishonest now because they can't. The kids now, they can't do ding dong ditch. They can't get the dishonesty out of their system, and so it carries on to adulthood. Maybe that's it.
And narcissism is rewarded right now in the world, and that's just not right. And I've lost quite a few friends over the last 10 years, and it's not even from like growing apart naturally. These friends are no longer the same people that they used to be. Like their core is different now. They changed. Then sometimes I think, well, maybe that's who they were all along and they just revealed their true self. When I think about all this stuff, it just makes me want to stay in whenever I can. And, I'm an introvert anyway, but I'm losing the desire to go out and to be around people. And I honestly miss the days before the internet even existed right now. I really miss those days because right now it feels like everyone's carrying a burden. And
We all miss those days, man. The ones that lived through it, all of us millennials and anyone older, Gen X, boomers even, we miss those days. Those were great days. Except MySpace days were still great. But yeah, social media, iPhones, those two things, smartphones, social media, have really destroyed a lot of stuff here. I remember back in MySpace, you could still, everything was still pretty analog, right? Yeah, there was the introduction of social media, but MySpace was great. I mean, yeah, there was MySpace drama, sure, but nobody had. I mean, yeah, you could take pictures with your phone, but it was like really crappy, like a little Razor flip phone. You could take some stupid pictures. But I always carried around like a Sony Cybershot or whatever it was called, Snapshot, Cybershot, and you still had to, so you could take pictures of whatever you were doing, but you still had to go home and get on your computer and upload them that way. Now you can just upload it immediately. You can record live. You can do stories, right? Everyone is reporting live. Their lives are live all the time. They're always on, like me. Although I'm not live right now, but I can do live streams, right? The digital age, man. It's a double-edged sword.
to me, it feels like everyone has given up in a way. Everybody's on edge. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. And that even comes down to saying hi to somebody, like nodding at them. They're like, what's this guy up to? He's nodding at me. He's probably wanting something. There's something going on there that I don't understand, and it makes me very uncomfortable. But there's really no real connection out there right now. And when you go out, like if I'm planning to go out, I expect bad interactions now. Like 90% of all the interactions that I have now are with rude people. And it's interesting because I do meet a nice person every now and then, and I really remember that person because it's like a rare find. It's like finding a diamond or something now.
That is true. I do remember those positive interactions. I expect either no interaction or maybe just someone that's just closed up. I understand because there's a lot more financial pressure now than back then, and so everyone is stressed out about bills. A lot of people they're thinking about other things while they're at work, right? They've got other stuff going on. There are a lot more burdens and worries now. You can't be as carefree at work. So I understand that. And it's not necessarily just because people are bad. Life is a lot harder. So, but yeah, I mean, you got to factor in of course, technology plays a role. Some people are just shitty. It's a cornucopia of things, right?
To find a nice person. It reminds me of, I was at my other apartment and I was taking a walk and I found $100 bill
Your other apartment? Bro's got 2 apartments? Dang. He's doing something right.
laying there. And you know how rare that is. That's what it feels like to find a nice person now. I get that same feeling. To prove this point, there was a guy at the grocery store when I went there the other day, and I was going through the self-checkout, and he was over the self-checkout. And he said, "Hey, I like your hat." And I said, "Hey, thanks," And we joked about Star Wars. And he was just really helpful and nice. He wasn't overbearing or anything. He was just nice. And I was like, I can't believe that this just happened. I was in
That is, I'm always shocked and in disbelief when someone relates to you in public that you don't know, that they're working, but they find a way to relate to you. They they go out of their way to do that. That is a rarity now. And I mean, I don't even it's rare that I do that. Shame on me. I need to do that more.
Shock. But it used to not be like that. There used to be a lot more of those
Be the change you want to see, James.
people. People used to interact with each other. And I think that social media and I think that technology
Yeah.
has something to do with it. I think
Yeah.
it has a lot to do with it. Because if you're in a waiting room, you're waiting to get your oil changed, something like that, everybody has a phone. And I mean everybody. It's really
Yeah.
not even an age thing anymore.
Even the old people, even these 98-year-old friggin' corpses walking around, they got their walker and their smartphone.
Everybody has one. And I think that these phones, that this technology and this ability we'll talk about in a minute to get news has broken something that's vitally necessary in people. It's broken it. It's broken their ability to be human. It's broken their ability to connect with other people. And
Yeah.
I think we have to say that nothing like this has ever happened in history.
That is true. We've never been this connected before. Technology has definitely bridged that gap that's never been bridged before.
And it's really about this ability to communicate instantly. So technology is able to feed people things.
I mean, we went from carrier pigeons and the Pony Express to this shit. It's crazy.
That aren't true. It puts people on edge. They're able to get this bad news, and they're able to get this news that is sketchy, and nobody knows what to believe anymore. And
Yeah.
I see these things pretty much, well, I mean, every day when I look at my phone about what's going on in the world and why things are going on in the world. And I look at some of them and I'm like, what? Really? That happened? This is happening? And then I step back and I say, well, should I even believe that? What should I believe? And
I mean, they want us to be flooded with information so we can't decipher what's true, what's not true, and a lot of it's propaganda. So you don't know what's propaganda, what's not propaganda. I mean, I do. Not everything. Some things are pretty tricky, especially with AI, but if you got a lens for it, you can spot the propaganda a lot more easily, especially when you're watching movies, which does ruin the movie experience because now all I see is the propaganda, right? The predictive programming and the social engineering at play, the feminism.
I feel like I wish I could do something about the things I'm hearing about. I wish I could do something about these terrible things that I hear, but I can't do anything. I mean,
You are doing something, man. You're making a video talking about it. You're putting information out there in the ether as well that people are consuming, and it's more balanced than a lot of the stuff that's out there.
there's nothing that I can really do from my apartment. And I'm confused by all of it, and I think other people are. And it's just very frustrating to be in this timeline that we're in right now. And the
Yeah.
world truly does seem to have turned upside down, and it seems like all the purpose has fallen out of it. And I don't know where it went. And I can't find it again. It's like it's lost. And it's a kind of nostalgia.
It's like we all have anhedonia, all of us. You just can't carpe that diem anymore.
For a time when we had a purpose, when we all had hope. And I find myself going to places where I can be alone when I do go places. So if I go out, I'm doing things like going to the park. I walk around the apartment complex here to get away from things and to get away from people and to unplug from all of it. And
Yeah.
it's just a crazy time. And I think all of this is happening because people, they don't want to talk about the things that are happening in the world.
Yeah.
They just listen to what certain people online say. They absorb whatever today's tragic news is, and then they go around like there's some kind of drones or something. And the only connection that they are getting is online connection, which is honestly a kind of fake connection.
Yeah, it's a synthetic form of connection. I mean, a lot of my connections are online. I completely understand. It's not the same as it being in person. It's digital versus analog now, even with connection through people, relationships. We've got digital relationships as opposed to the old analog ones, right? Ain't that sad?
And the news that we're getting, we don't know if that's real either. And this whole thing that's happening, it's not working. I mean, we can take a step back from it and say, well, this is happening. We got technology, we got this, we got that. It's not working. And it's changing people. And everybody, I think, feels all the divisiveness around us. And I think people are afraid to talk because everything is so divisive right now. And a discussion with somebody is kind of like a gamble. It's like deciding if you want to walk through a minefield or not.
Right. You don't know if what you're gonna say is gonna connect with them. You're either gonna meet a kindred spirit or you're not. You're gonna butt heads. Right? And then you're gonna get roped into that whole thing.
Because an explosion could happen at any second. And this is happening with people in their families. This is happening with people's immediate family. It's happening with just friends now. It's like an everyday thing. And you know that if you think for yourself that is actually considered to be a bad thing now, and you might be outcasted from a certain group or by certain family members, and that fear about communication doesn't promote good communication. When you aren't even allowed to have your own opinions about things, how can you have a real relationship with another person?
Right. So I'm gonna leave his video down below. You can finish that, but I'm gonna end there. He's right. For individuals that really think deeply and they want to pursue truth and they have this awakening, they go through the process of individuation, right? Shadow work. They integrate their shadow, and your family, they have who they think you should be in their head and who you used to be, and then you make these drastic changes. I would say you become the better version of yourself through that process of individuation and pursuing truth and trying to understand how the world really works. And family, a lot of times, they don't take too kindly to that. That breaks their mind, and sometimes it pisses them off, and they'll not talk to you as much. Or if they do, you have those uncomfortable interactions during Thanksgiving or whatever. And this one individual, he called me on my number, my Connect With Me number, one day, and he was talking about that. And he was saying, like, well, don't you have to kind of have those masks or have that shadow or whatever? You have to wear a mask for certain people. And I told him, well, no, I think the way that I see it is you can go through the process of individuation. It's not necessarily that you still have to have a mask around your family or these certain individuals. You just have to, you only allow them in. You keep them surface level, or you put up a boundary is the way that I see it. It's not that you're wearing a mask and you're being fake or you're not being fully yourself. It's that they don't deserve to experience your full self. So you give them part of yourself that is authentic, but they don't have the privilege of entering into the depth that is you. Does that make sense? So that's what I told him. That's how I view it. But yeah, great video from this guy. My hat is off to him. He's got some good content, the Introvert Circle. I'll leave the link down below so you can finish that off. There's a few more minutes of that I didn't cover. But yeah, great stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.